Let's not waste any time. Let's get to this Stephen Jones sound. And thanks to my man Patrick who pulled this. He went on a 105 for the fan. And they didn't pull any punches. I was actually really impressed with the questions. They made Stephen Jones uncomfortable. You could tell. The first thing that the guys 105 the fan asked Stephen Jones was about the claim that the Cowboys were all in. Claimed by Jerry Jones that they were all in, which they have had to explain and clarify multiple times. Here's another clarification of what Stephen Jones and the Jones family define as all in. Here it is.
I think if you're not all in this league, you're all out. And I don't know of any of the 32 who aren't all in. And, everybody can have their own definition of what that means, but I've never not known us to be all in, nor have I known anybody we compete against not to be all in. It's, they have different strategies as to what that means. But at the end of the day, if you're not really all in trying to figure out how to put together a championship football team, then you shouldn't be in this league.
All right. I think he just said if he just keeps saying all in, then people will think it's all in. It reminds me of the politician slogans that they can just say any cool slogan as long as it sounds cool and as long as it, brings, some type of nostalgia or some positive emotion. That's all it takes, but it doesn't align with their policies or their actions. That's what this all in is for the Cowboys. It's just a political slogan, but it is not aligned with what they're actually doing and aligned with what their policies
because all in to them means we own a football team. That's what it means. Because all 32 teams are it all of the time. He says in that at no point have we or any team we have ever played not been all in.
What about the teams tanking?
They're all in on the tank.
They're all in on the tank.
I didn't know the Texans were all in the last 3 seasons. Who knew? All in. He has changed all in to mean owning a football team. That's what all in has changed to mean.
It is latest definition.
That is just going so far from Jerry Jones. I think we're going to be all in. You're like, well, so you've just always been all in, though. And then he's like, yeah, we're always all in, to now everyone's all in all the time.
To be breathing oxygen,
Lord,
you are all in.
Yeah, no. As soon as you buy a football team, you're all in.
Oh man,
we've always been all in, and every team we've ever played has been all in. Is a crazy statement to say to fans that keep asking you about it, to not go, hey, we just misspoke. We said that, but look, we do believe that we are trying to do everything in our power to bring a Super Bowl to the Dallas Cowboys, and that's what we want to do. But to say all in, I think we kind of misconstrued what we meant in that statement. And then we would have all let it go because we would have understood, oh, we know you want to be all in, but you can't be because of cap constraints. We get that. That's understandable. But to say all in and then say it means absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing.
We've never played a team, and I don't know of a team in the NFL that's not in. You're right. It's amazing the kind of the definition manipulation you're dealing with here. And now you're right. They kind of watered down the definition so much that it doesn't mean anything. Now all in doesn't mean a damn thing. It's like what all in used to mean that you no, it doesn't mean a damn thing.
You know how that quiet quitting became a thing? That people are like quiet quitting? That apparently is all in now.
That is all in too.
You can walk in. If your boss says you're quiet quitting, you can say, no. According to Stephen Jones, I am all in.
I'm all in, damn it. No, it's like I said, it's pretty amazing. How really just kind of the mental gymnastics that this Jones family would go through here. Okay, so the next cut is him being asked about spending money because the question was, hey, what do you say to the Cowboys fans out there who are disappointed that you spent the least amount of money in free agency of any team in the NFL? All those all-in teams. Here is what Stephen Jones. So you're the least in of all the all-in teams. You're the least in. Maybe that's what we should start saying. But you're not all in, but you're the least in of all the all-in teams. Here's what Stephen Jones had to say about their spending habits.
Well, at the end of the day, you always can only, and we spend max money, year in and year out. All 32 can only spend the same amount of money over a 5-year stretch. And when we're all said and done, we max out our salary cap every year, and we will have done that. And what comes with having a good roster, which we do. And, we also, are looking towards signing our own guys. It doesn't mean it happens overnight, but when you're wanting to sign players like Dak and Micah and CD, then, that certainly you have to hold money back if you want to have a realistic chance at signing those guys.
Okay. Yeah, he's saying that they spend max money in that 5-year window. We'll get into that because there is it's about, sometimes it's about the cash that they spend, and it's about the way so it's a little different.
It is, and we'll say the second part is true. You do have to hold money back to re-sign your guys. That's true. He's completely right on that. Since I'll make fun of everything else he says, I'll say he's completely right on that one. But yeah, to say we spend max money, and in the same sentence say we spend max money, just like all 32 teams, we all spend the max. Everyone basically maxes out their cap every year. You have to have a certain amount, and you try, and everyone's around where that number is. So once again, you said we do this. Also, everybody else does this. Give me something to say. This is what we're doing to try and separate ourselves from the 32 other teams and the 31 other teams in this league.
Yeah. No, I it's like I said, the mental gymnastics you go through here, and you can kind of fact check them. And they said everybody does have to spend. There's a cash floor. There's a spending floor for every team in the NFL too. And we can get into this in Raj Rant the Day a little bit too. And you might as well. Matter of fact, let's hit Raj Rant the Day, because I think we can just kind of make this part of Raj Rant, because we can go on a little bit of rant here. Let's do it. Okay, so he's right about the max spending in that 5-year window.
Yep.
That's all in terms of the salary cap. But what most matters in the NFL is cash. Like, that's why we tell you that everything on the contract, NFL contracts, is a fugazi, except the guaranteed cash, like the signing bonus. It's not the NBA, it's not Major League Baseball, where they get the whole entire damn contract and it's guaranteed. That's not the way it goes out. The only thing that really matters is cash, because that's what the teams have to spend. That's what they're going to have to spend. And you can give yourself an advantage by spending more cash, but you got to have the cash. You got to have liquid. My man Patrick talks about that with the cash over cap thing. The combined 32 teams, like this is in the CBA, the combined 32 teams must spend 95% of the league's salary cap in cash each year. Individually, each team had to spend 89% of the league's salary cap in cash over 2 4-year periods. That was up to 90% in the latest 3-year period. So they bumped it based on the CBA. So if you just look at cash spending over, let's go back to 2013. So like go back over the last decade. If you look at cash spending from 2013 to 2016, that 4-year period, Cowboys ranked 25th in the NFL in cash spending. The Eagles, where everybody wonders how the hell can they have 2 top 5 wide receivers, 2 top 5 tackles in terms of average annual salary, a top 5 quarterback in terms of average annual salary, top 5 running back. How they do it? They sign their guys, and they usually sign them a lot earlier than the Cowboys do. The Cowboys do wait to the last minute to sign their guys, which does actually make a difference. I mean, you save more money signing guys early, and then instead of waiting to the last minute to sign guys, and then you end up having to pay top dollar for your own guys instead of getting a bit of a discount with your guys. And the Eagles, go look at all their guys. Those guys, they're re-signing their own guys, but they're doing it earlier than the Cowboys do. The Devontae Smith thing, before it even became a topic, they decided, no, we're gonna act, and we are going to be, the proactive and sign him before he even hits free agency. Cowboys don't do that. They, even with Dak, right? They're gonna wait till last minute with Dak, instead of, and you can pay top dollar for him, but just know, even that top dollar value you pay earlier is still gonna be a discount compared to you paying top dollar later on in that contract, the last year of that contract. But anyway, so the Cowboys 25th over that 4-year period, 2013 and 2016, in cash spending. Eagles ranked number 1 in that period in cash spending, because as we talked about, and my man Patrick always mentioned, cash over cap gives you a bit of a discount on your salary cap. All right, it gives you a deal because you're paying all that money up front, usually in signing bonus, and you're front loading those deals. 2016 to 2019, Jason Lockenfor of CBS Sports, he identifies the Cowboys as the team that spent the least cash over that period of any team in the league. They spent the least amount of cash from 2016 to 2019. If you go look at 2021, I think they're taking out the COVID year. 2021 and 2023, most recently, the Cowboys are at, in that period, 30th in cash spending in that period. So they ranked 25th in cash spending from 2013 and 2016, last in cash spending from 2016 and 2019, and 30th in cash spending from 2021 to 2023. Two things the Cowboys can do that would help their salary cap situation. Number one, spend more cash. Jerry Jones, you got it. You know you do. You got tons of it. Spend more cash. All right. And then that gives you a discount, cash over cap. And also, you got to start signing your guys earlier. Waiting to the last possible minute to sign your guys it's working against you and not giving you a discount on the value of that contract. You do much better trying to be proactive and signing these players way before they get to the last year of their deal. And I think just those two things simply would help the Cowboys a ton. There's a GM, one NFL executive anonymously said what the Eagles are doing with the salary cap is not magic. They're better than anyone at locking up their key players early. It looks expensive at first, but it almost always leads to financial flexibility later. They end up having less holes to fill and more money to fill them with. When you don't do that, you're stuck with the bloated back ends of contracts. That's what the Cowboys are with Dak and with Lamb. I'm really surprised they didn't fix that before free agency started. It ain't rocket science.
No. And I mean, you also throw in the fact that we know, and it doesn't take, an expert or someone who follows it super closely to realize that it's continuing to make more and more and more money. All these players continue to make more, and the salary cap continues to go up. So if you were the first one to sign, even though we're going to make Patrick Mahomes the most, the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. What's he at now?
Oh, yeah, like fourth or fifth or something.
And you just say they'll start sliding down because we gave them that contract before everybody else got theirs. Because we re-signed them earlier, we were able to get them before they ballooned up. And we're just constantly playing the game of it will be expensive for 1 year. And then within 1 year, it'll be a good deal. But if we get early, but if we wait, now it's going to be 2 years before that becomes an okay deal. And we played the back end of the balloon end. So we're also kind of stuck with that back end year. And then, like, if you pay Dak Prescott, if Dak Prescott goes and takes you to the Super Bowl this year, and you're paying Dak, it means you're paying Dak the most money you can this last year, and you're going to have to pay him as one of the top paid quarterbacks in the NFL next year too, where you could have re-signed him, a year ago for less than you'd be paying him now. You'd be in a much better place now. You could re-sign CeeDee Lamb. If you would have re-signed him at the beginning of the offseason, you probably could have got it would have been a lot. It would have been close to that 30. But you also, in 2 or 3 years, once Justin Jefferson signs, and Justin Jefferson would have based it off of CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase, all these guys would have signed. Yeah. It would have now pushed it to where, well, man, we actually have CeeDee Lamb on not a bad deal. It's like Amari Cooper. We saw with Amari Cooper that they said his salary is too much. $20 million. We got to get rid of him. Mm-hmm. And within 3 months, his salary looked like one of the best deals in the league.
Yeah, it did.
And it's just they just never want to play. They always assume for whatever reason that somehow it's going to flip back in their favor, and because they waited, they'll get the edge, and they keep getting stuck with it on the back end when it doesn't.
Yep. No, that's a great point about they miscalculate the market.
Yeah,
at times, and it's like they did it with the running back position last year. They kind of misread the market, and they did it with that wide receiver position when they traded Amari Cooper for pennies, and they thought that was a bloated contract. Turns out that was a bargain of a contract for a really good player. You should have kept him one more year and then decide to trade him. But the Cowboys misread the market.
The craziest part about that overall is this is a franchise obsessed with their evaluation of what they're worth. They know that they are continuing to raise in value. They understand that they're, as a brand, the Dallas Cowboys is extremely expensive and worth every penny of it and all of that, and they know that. Yet some reason they keep thinking, well, clearly this is going to run out and the players are going to want less money and we'll be able to get a hand of it. I don't get how you can live in those two worlds.
I'm with you. Yeah, that's a great point. Because you would think with the value of it, they would be like the Yankees and just spend.
Yeah.
Now I know it's a different thing in salary cap.
Very much, yeah.
But the teams, even in NBA, the teams that are considered like the Cowboys in the league, that they spend money. Except different leagues, I understand that. But the Cowboys don't spend like that. They don't. Their brand, it's flashy and it says like they are, big spenders, and it actually says that it's worth more than any other brand in the NFL. But in terms of how much money they spend on players, they don't spend a lot of cash. They are a homegrown organization. It's a great way to be, but they don't exhaust every possible means to acquire talent and to build up the roster. And that includes free agency, trades, as well as the draft. And I think they would do better to spend cash to give themselves a bit more salary cap flexibility. And you don't see enough of that with the Cowboys. All right.